What's up, guys? So today I'm going to a Cars and Coffee. It's about an hour away. It's bright and early in the morning right now. It's a bit wet out, but it looks like the weather's gonna hold up fine. Today I'm meeting up with my buddy Aaron, who has a big turbo B6 Passat. He helped me out a lot with my big turbo FSI build. And today I'm gonna be helping him out by doing data logging for his water meth tuning. He has a Cortex controller and a newly set up water meth system. Whatever I learned today will actually be pretty helpful because my new blue Golf R has a water meth system. It's just not spraying yet because the controller isn't set up, but a Cortex controller was actually included with the sale of the car. So believe it or not, this is actually my first Cars and Coffee, and it kind of sucks that I'm taking my stock beat up RSX, but it is what it is. I'm excited to get the blue Golf R fixed up so that I can start bringing it to these events. But yeah, it is bright and early. The air is cool, the birds are chirping, and there's water splashing around in the trunk of my RSX. Oh, yo, he's definitely going. Well, M235 action. What can an M35 do this? It's funny how that pull took like 30 seconds. So there's this pretty sick zigzaggy road going through the woods. Back there is really cool, and it would have been awesome to rip down that, but there's a bunch of old people walking on the road. I guess there's a lot of retired people in this area. Alright, I'm gonna put the camera down and I'll probably record a little bit at the Cars and Coffee. Alright, we're pulling up on it right now. I don't know if it's gonna come up on video though.
Yeah, it might stabilize it.
I think it's stabilizing it. It thinks I'm shaking the camera. All right, boys, so let's take a look at what's going on with the gray Golf R. I decided to get this car fixed. Right now, as you guys will see, I don't know when the last time I showed this car was, but basically in here, we got just the bare bottom end here. So we just got the block here. It's still fully assembled besides the pan and the oil pump assembly. So right down there, you can just see the crank, pistons and rods. So the plan for this is to get this car towed to the shop. They're gonna fix everything. The head has damage that needs to be fixed. So the issue with this engine was that the thrust washers fell out. Literally fell out. If you guys missed that, go back and watch that video. The whole thing is going to be disassembled, and as you can see, all of that cylinder wall wear in there on all 4 cylinders means that this thing needs to be, it would need to be at least bored out, but that would require bigger pistons as well, and there's no guarantee that this block will even be big enough because I don't have a bore gauge to check. There might not be enough room in there to even bore this thing out. The shop has a few spare blocks, so that is the plan for right now. They're going to use one of their spare blocks, reassemble the entire thing. Everything else should be able to be replaced, but we'll see because there was a bunch of metal shards that were bouncing around in there from the thrust washers getting banged around between the crank and the oil pump assembly, which is suspected to be the reason why the head failed. So I actually don't have the key to this car. I left it inside. But down in there in the right near where the passenger's feet would go, if you guys can see that, I have my other cylinder head. That's the cylinder head that was money shifted. And I had that head inspected. So on this one, the cam journals are all grooved up. So on the money shifted head, I had that inspected and cleaned. And basically all the valve guides had some weird clearances. There's some weird clearance between the valve guide and the valves. Yeah, I wasn't planning on reusing this, which is why it's been sitting outside. That is super scratched up. I remember it's scratched up worse on the cam tower than it is the bottom part of the head. But yeah, the valve guide clearances are all messed up on the money shifted head. So I had to buy new valve guides. The shop is going to replace the valve guides, and I also bought new valves, so they're going to install those too. Yeah, the shop should just pay for everything, but I had already bought all that stuff anyway. And I can't definitively blame the head damage on the bottom end damage, although it's extremely likely, and you know, it would be a very big coincidence if the head failed for other reasons, right when the thrust bearing failed and got mashed to pieces. So we'll keep the big turbo on here. We'll put all the forged internals back in this car. Enjoy the car like that for a little while. But now that the new Blue R is coming in, this car is probably going to get sold. I spent a lot of time and money on this particular engine and turbo setup, so I don't really want to sell this car with the turbo kit on it. So ideally, I would find another FSI car in the future, such as a Mark II TTS, for example, and I would swap the two engines so that there's a stock engine in this, and I can just sell the car with the stock engine, and there's a built engine with a big turbo in the TTS. That would be ideal, but we'll have to see how things work out. I think I'll get pretty good resale value on the car if I have a professionally installed low mileage engine in here, but if I have a built engine, it's just kind of a losing. You're not going to get much more money for the car, even if it's freshly rebuilt, so it's not really worth it to lose all that money. I would rather just keep the built engine for myself. So basically, since this car needs to be towed to the shop and they're gonna need all the rest of the engine parts to reassemble it, I'm basically just gonna throw the head back on here, stick a couple nuts on these studs, and then I'll put the turbo manifold, the exhaust manifold on here, and just V-band this guy up to the manifold just so that the turbo is not like sitting like this anymore. Then the intake manifold, I'll just bolt that back up real quick. Probably the same for the cam cover, just kind of like stick it on. Like now the cam cover I'll put separately. But oh wait, I forgot the fuel pump is on it's still connected to the intake manifold, and the hose is very annoying to disconnect. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of parts actually. So I still got the battery tray and the battery. All this stuff's gonna have to come apart anyway. So I guess what would be easiest is to just load up all these parts and then just follow the tow truck driver. That would probably be easier than like reassembling most of the car just to have the shop undo it again. So I'll throw the boxes of parts in the trunk of this car and just get it towed that way. That'd probably be the easiest. You guys may be seeing more of this unibrace. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough room in the Blue R with that half cage, because like I was saying in my last video, that my seat will have to back up right to the cage, and I don't want that seat to get damaged like the passenger seat got damaged. So this is what's gonna be back here if I do have to take that out. It's just gonna be a unibrace back here, and since I'm gonna lose a lot of stiffening by taking that half cage out, I might add a subframe brace for the rear subframe, one of the unibrace UB, I think it's called. So this one back here is called the XB. I'm pretty sure the one underneath is called the UB. And I know the half cage serves a very different purpose than the rear subframe brace and this brace, but as far as stiffening is concerned, I think that would be a good alternative. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go start loading shit up. And then the plan for the blue car is that I now have the loan, I have the title signed, I have the car added to my insurance policy, so I have everything required to bring that car home. It's just sitting at my girlfriend's house right now. So the car drives fine for like 15 minutes after you put spark plugs in it. It's gonna be dark here pretty soon, but tomorrow I'm gonna go get spark plugs, throw them in, and drive the car home, since I'm only, since I'm pretty close to my girlfriend's house. At the same time, I'm going to move the bagged Golf because that car is getting sold. The only thing about this car, and the reason why I haven't moved it yet, is because it's on winter tires, and these wheels that I bought, so he's He's got pretty big spacers on all four corners, and so I need 47mm bolts. These wheels require, they're OEM wheels, so they require a ball seat lug, whereas these are conical seat. So I had to buy ball seat lugs. I was waiting for them to get shipped from California, so they took over a week to get here, but they'll be here in 2 more days. So then I can finally get those wheels on this car and finally drive it. Like this car hasn't even moved since I bought it, which kind of sucks. I absolutely love that carbon fiber wheel, and it really makes me want one for the Blue R. So I didn't order one yet, but that is definitely on the list. That thing makes a huge difference for the feel of the car. So I already have a lot of my parts wrapped up in plastic bags. Here's the intake manifolds. So maybe you guys can help me out here. Here's my high pressure fuel pump. So these are the 2 bottom ports. This one has the soft hose. This is for the return line. And this one on the right is for the high pressure outline that goes right to the fuel rail. Does anybody have the correct part number for this? This fitting is elusive. I haven't been able to find one. I don't know what's going on. It's very odd, but I'll show you guys another clip. I think I have an old clip that I took of what this guy looks like and of what the one that I got from Volkswagen looks like. So if I have that, I'll show you guys that right here. The reason I need this is because mine leaks. Mine leaks fuel unless I stick some Teflon tape on there, so that's what you see right there. I assume that it's this piece and not the other piece that screws up onto it and tightens onto it, which is right there. You can see so there's the hard line that goes up to that piece, and there's the little nut looking thing. There's like a head on the end of this line. It's kind of like a ball, and that goes into that fitting, and then this guy tightens that ball up to the fitting. So yeah, I haven't been able to find that. I've now tried at least 2 times, maybe 3 times. I even had my buddy who works at a dealership try to find it, and he could not find it anywhere. If anyone has the part number for that, please hit me up. Please post it in the comments. That would help me out a lot, because then I won't have to deal with Teflon tape anymore, because that's kind of annoying, and it's gonna have to be something I have to explain to the shop. Like, I apologize for not really having a full video for today, but what I should have done is, since most of my day today was taken up by Cars and Coffee that I went to, I should have just recorded my buddy's Passat, because that thing's badass. The thing handles insanely well. So I should have taken some video of that. Instead, I was just trying to enjoy myself. I also didn't really want to pull out the camera when we're like ripping it through the woods, because I don't want him to do anything stupid since he's being on the camera. I mean, he records some of his own stuff too, so I guess it would have been fine. So next time I'll just do that, because I was expecting to post a video on all of that stuff today. So on Monday, expect a video of me driving the Blue Golf R, and I'll get that car jacked up, and I'll show you guys the tubular subframe. We'll take a look at what sway bars are on there, because I'm actually not sure which ones are on there. I can show you guys some stuff on the transmission as well. So I'll see you guys on Monday. Buying a new car and selling a car takes up a lot of my time, so I apologize for not having more stuff for you today. Like I said, I should have just recorded what I did at the Cars and Coffee, and that's gonna be it for this one, guys. I'll see you guys on Monday. So yeah, thanks again for watching, guys. I'll see you guys on Monday. Take care, guys.